All right, today we've got James Tedesco sitting down with Game Day Squad to answer a few questions. Welcome, Teddy.
Thanks, Norm. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. We're going to go through a few questions and we want to start early on in your career. So if you don't mind, take us back to the start of your rugby league journey. When did you start playing the game? What were some of your earliest memories?
I started when I was about 5, playing for Keenan Rams out in the Southwest. So, I played all my junior footy out that way and played and loved it. Played all sorts of sports when I was a kid, cricket, union, athletics, but always loved footy the most. And then, just had heaps of mates out there playing footy, so that's where it all started. I lived on acreage, 200 acres, so I'd always be in the backyard kicking the footy around with my brother and just loved the game. So that's where it all started and went through, playing at school, went to St. Greg's, which is a well-known footy school as well, and then, sort of came through the West Juniors. So that's where it all started. I was a pretty small kid growing up, but I had a bit of speed and acceleration, so that was sort of what got me, so that what stood out to some people, but I loved it just from the first time I played. Loved the game, still do.
Yep, brilliant. And you mentioned you were a small kid, but you had the pace and the agility there. At what point did you realize maybe I could make this a career?
I guess I always stood out, for my speed, and I ended up playing up in age when I was about 11s and 12s. Played up in age. A lot of my mates were a year above me, so I sort of played up a year. Then I sort of was going pretty well in that comp, and I tested myself, went across to the Western Suburbs comp, played for Eagle Vale St Andrews, and a lot more bigger boys over that way, and I realised, I'm not sure if I'm as good as I think I am, because it's a bit different to the Group 6 comp, so that's why I really tested myself. But I guess I always just practiced. As I said, I lived on acreage, so I was always out in the backyard practicing my skills. Always had big dreams of playing the NRL one day. Loved watching the NRL and just, loved the game. So as I got older, I started to get a bit more size, a bit more skill, and started to make some rep teams, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yep, awesome. Making those rep teams, you would have had many coaches along the way. Were there any that you could personally think of, looking back now, that really shaped you?
My dad coached me once for 1 year. We won the grand final under 12s. Which
One from one, Dad.
Good memory, that was it, and he stopped from that. I had a lot of great coaches, to be honest, for Camden and Eagle Vale, and through the West Juniors. A lot of great coaches that helped me along the way, and a lot of them showed belief in me and what I could do. And actual coach back in under 12s at St. Greg's. So I tried out for the under 12s. I was only 11. I was a year young. I was a pretty good kid coming through at Camden, and tried out for the under 12s team, and he didn't pick me. I made the Bs, 12 Bs, and he sort of said, I sort of saw him, after I finished high school, and he said that's, that decision to not pick in the A's was the best decision, because it made you work harder, and it gave you that drive. So I guess I can thank him for me wanting to work hard and being disappointed for not making the A's team back in high school.
Perfect reason to keep going, I guess. Let's dig a little bit deeper. What has footy taken from you that fans never see? Is there a side that the fans don't see, that because you're in the spotlight, it's taken something from your life?
Taken from me? I think it used to take a bit of my social life away. I feel like during my career, sometimes I didn't play well, or I didn't win a game, or something happened. I probably would shy away from going outside and being in the public, because I'd be worried about running into some fans or just people who watch the game. So I guess that sort of side, just the Origin and those bigger games, we don't really perform. It's a bit, sort of going to your shell a bit and don't want to sort of be seen too much. So that's a bit of the hard part, but I've definitely grown and learned from that, especially now with the family, that can't let a result of a game sort of dictate my life. So I think I've really grown in that area, and I'm really grateful now. I've got my footy, that's my number one job, but also my family, that's looking after them and being the best father I can be, is having that balance in my life now has really been a big plus for me. So I've loved that.
And speaking of critics and people out there, in 2023, there were many critics saying you've had your worst year, where the Roosters go from here and all that sort of talk. Then last year you go on to win the Dahlia medal. So that's the second time for you. Did the outside noise drive you? You mentioned in high school that drove you, when you were put in the B side, not the A side. Did anything like that happen with all the outside noise a couple of years back?
Yeah, it's a bit of internal drive. I think, 2023, it wasn't my greatest year, and a lot of critics, a lot of people doubting me, time to give it up and stuff like that. But for me, I always hold myself to a pretty high standard, and I guess I'm not going to listen to the critics or people who don't know me personally. But it does drive you. I know I didn't like that. I didn't like that feeling of knowing that I wasn't at my best, and that people weren't sort of seeing me at a high level. So I use that internal drive, but I think I've always had that internal drive and that motivation to always be the best I can be. I don't really need validation from external people, and that's always driven me. That's why I've sort of had a consistent career where I've always worked hard. I've always looking to get better. I've always looking to improve and be the best version of myself. So that's what's been the sort of driving factor throughout my whole career.
Yeah, perfect. And Dally M, 2-time winner now. Did the second time feel any different to the first?
Yeah, it was definitely cool, I think, to be recognised, to be the best player in the game for that year is, it's a cool achievement for sure. There's so many great players in our game at the moment. And I guess, to be recognised again for the second time is really cool. I guess when I first won, I was young and I was, just in sort of my prime footy-wise, playing for the Roosters, winning every premiership. But then now, sort of, 6 years later, I'm at sort of different stage of my life. And being the captain of the club is really important to me. So just trying to be the best leader I can be and getting the best out of myself is going to give the Roosters the most success. So that's what I sort of held myself accountable to last year, and I'm grateful to win that. But I'll be more grateful to win a premiership. That's definitely the goal for the next couple of years.
Yeah, awesome. And speaking of the pursuit for premierships, the Roosters in the off-season, it's been an exciting one. They've got a couple of new additions, talking about Jerry Evans and Robson to the spine. What's the vibe amongst the players this off-season?
It's been great. It's been awesome having Daly come in and Reece. And Reece is awesome. I think he's probably an underrated signing that people sort of forget about when we mention Cherry. But those two adding to our spine is crucial. I mean, Daly's experience, his leadership, his communication, not just for the team, but for Sammy Half as well to help his development is going to be awesome for us. And then Robson's just out and out 9 defensively, but just his passing and picking the right options most of the time is great for us. So we've only just sort of got started after Christmas, getting our combinations on and getting the team ready to go. But it's feeling really good so far, and just keen to keep the combinations going and get ready for the start of the year.
Yeah, awesome. Speaking about the start of the year and some of those players there, I want to talk about golf. You love your golf. Everyone knows that. But how does it sit with you that a bloke who hasn't even made his club debut yet won the annual club competition? Cherry Evans.
He did. I was actually in his group. So I was actually scoring for him, and he said, I'm not really too good. He's off 20-something handicap. But he absolutely played unreal.
So are you claiming it, or was it all Cherry?
I definitely think I helped him. No, not really. I did nothing. No. I was playing terribly. And Cherry, he chipped in for birdie for 5 points. He was doing everything. So everything was going well. It was a great opening to the club introduction, winning the golf.
Yeah, winning.
Yeah, and so
now we can say anything in the change rooms. Everything goes
off to a winning start.
Yeah, off to a winning start. Good. That's awesome. Speaking about getting off to a winning start, preparing for the season ahead, how does your approach change over time, like through technology and new information, training methods? Has it changed much?
I think for me, it's always stayed the same. I think over the last couple of years, recovery and getting my body right, it's definitely been a bigger priority. I've got a now sauna and ice bath at home, which I do pretty much every night because, the body's getting a bit older, getting a bit sore. So just got to make sure my body's feeling 100% most weeks. And Robbo's always evolving, to be honest. His coaching methods, he's always looking for new ways to improve, to evolve, and looking for new methods. So Robbo's great in that area. But for me, again, I'm probably just involved more in my leadership. Nothing really changes from my personal prep, but I'm always looking to improve my skills and my game in any way I can. But I think just the leadership, getting around to new boys, making sure our combinations are on, making sure everyone's confident and belief in how we play footy is probably the main thing I focus on during this preseason, making sure everyone's connected and all on the same page. So yeah, that's sort of the involvement for me.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like a sort of holistic approach, not just about the body. It's about literally everyone in the team.
Definitely.
2025, incredible season, exciting moments. The NRL's growing left, right, and center, breaking record numbers of viewers, people at the games and things like that. How did you get started with fantasy sports? Because people wanting to get closer to the action, and fantasy sports is also growing. How did you sort of first get involved with fantasy?
Yeah, NFL first. So when I first came to the Roosters, 2018 season, pre-season, the end of 2017, went to the Roosters, and they all loved NFL, all loved fantasy. I didn't know anything about NFL or fantasy, so I wasn't sure they were all talking about it, talking about their teams, talking about their players, talking about the scores. I had no idea. I felt really very left out first going to the club. So
had to fit in some
way. I sort of let that ride out for a bit, and I sort of chose the Chiefs randomly. Kareem Hunt got his jersey because Dylan Naffer told me to, and they end up being the best team for the last 5-6 years. So
So
that was cool.
you're not a bandwagon fan.
No, I'm not. Kareem Hunt was the jersey. Got him before Mahomes was. I think that was his first year.
Yeah.
And then they end up winning the next 2 years after that. So good timing. But yeah, I got into fantasy the next year. Again, didn't have much idea about it, but once I got involved, picked my team, I fell in love with the NFL straight away. So I love the game now. I love fantasy. I've got in 3 leagues, checking it left, front. So the whole off season is pretty much about NFL and fantasy. So
you're sorted.
yeah, that's how you get into the games. I feel if you get into the fantasy, if you follow your players, you can follow a team as well, and then you just ride on that. So I find it very fun. It's nice for me to sort of get away from rugby league for a bit and focus on another sport and really just enjoy those athletes and what they can do because it's pretty special.
Yeah, that's great. Great to hear. Last preseason at the Game Day Squad live event, you were asked about highlighting a player that could explode in fantasy, and you said Nafua White, who had a great season. He went on to finish at the 8th highest averaging middle forward
That's a
over the
great
season,
tip.
which
Wow.
is a great tip from you. It's not like you had any inside knowledge or anything around how he was going at training. So the community comes to you again. Is there a player that comes to mind this season for you?
Younger player.
Not necessarily younger. They could just be someone that you feel is like,
Yeah,
gonna
it's gonna. Yeah, I feel like we've got really. Obviously, I didn't say Mark last year. That would have been nice if I tipped on Mark.
Yeah,
last
that'd
year.
be nice.
Everyone knows about him now. I feel like a lot of our squad is very similar from last year. A couple of new additions with Robbo and Ches, but I think Celesi Fiketti. Obviously, had a couple of breakout games last year.
yeah,
He's gonna be really good in the future. I think I might have mentioned him last year as well. I obviously mentioned Rob Toyer as well, who had a great season. I think I'm hoping Celesi have a really breakout year. Siwa Wong, I think as well, if he can really stay on the field. He had a MCL injury last year, but when he's on the field consistently, he's such a great athlete, very strong, fast, athletic. So I think those guys that maybe might fly under the radar, they could be a good good pick for this year.
Yep. All right. I'm excited. But one thing I'm more excited about is talking about one of your mates. So I want to know, what's the hardest part about being captain while also being best mates with Victor Radley? Because how often do you have to remind him that tackles are meant to be below the shoulder? Does it become awkward?
Yeah, he's gotten better at that over the years. I think I don't think he got any sin bins last year or tackles. He had a couple of head knocks, but that's just the way he plays. But yeah, we have a very open, honest relationship. Me and Victor. We've sort of been best mates since I sort of come to the club. But his maturity as a leader has been awesome for me. I think he's still a young guy, but he's got a family now too, and he's just matured and become a leader because a lot of boys look up to him. What he does, he's a larrikin. He has a few jokes around the club, on different people, but he's a real leader. Everyone watches him, how he trains, how he go about his business every week, how he prepares for games. They really look up to him. So he's been awesome in that regard. He can be a future captain of the club for sure. Obviously he's had a few instances, but again, we have honest conversations. He knows where he stands on that and what he needs to work on, how he needs to improve. But really happy with how he's come back in after the Christmas break as well. He's hit the ground running, he's come back fit, and I know he's going to miss a fair few games at the start of the year, but I know when he does come back, he'll be ready to go and he's going to lead from the front.
Yep, should be good. How important is reviewing performance and adjusting week-to-week prep for the next game?
Yeah, we do it a lot. I mean, after the game, I'll pretty much go home and watch the game straight away and just sort of go through my own things and team things. But we'll come back in on Monday or whenever it is and go through an attack review, defense review, a team review, and sort of talk about the good things and the bad things, what we need to improve on, and what we can sort of take into next week. So I mean, myself, I do a lot of video with Robbo, one-on-one, just about fullback, organising defensive lines and my game, and then sort of taking that to the team. So it's really important. You need to do it these days, and I think everyone's using technology to their advantage and having different camera angles, training, video, just everything they can to sort of review and get ready for week-to-week games.
Yeah, everything seems super advanced, but I think one thing that must stay the same, and it's up to you to advance it, is resilience. Something that you show a lot of. A lot of people would associate that with your character. How have you been able to handle adversity and continue to come back better than before?
I got probably just a good close knit family and friends around me that I sort of lean on through tough times. I can have honest conversations with. And yeah, I mean, I think that's just my personality. I don't really get too down through the bad times. I don't really get too up through the good times. I sort of stay pretty neutral. And I'm always looking, on myself. Always have a good look at myself. How I can make changes. How I can improve. My footy, my life, and just I think that the honesty is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Honest conversations, and just holding myself accountable. If things aren't going well, then what can I do to improve that? What can I do what changes can I make? And then when things are going well, not sort of resting on my laurels a bit and saying it's going well, just keep working and keep looking to improve for the next week. So that's just I guess that's how I am.
Yep. Have you always had that in you, or was there a moment in your career that completely changed how you approached the game?
No, I mean the resilience part of it. When I did my ACL on debut, I mean I was just even my parents were more shattered than me. And I was like, oh well, it's all right. Let's get on with the with the recovery for the rest of the year and sort of take it day by day. I think I don't really like to look too far in the future or dwell on the past too much. Just sort of being in the present moment is probably an attribute that I've really improved on, I guess, and just that's in everyday life, just staying in the moment, not getting too caught up in what's happened or what could possibly happen in the future, because I think that takes away your best moments. So I've always been resilient and looking to improve, and that's just the mindset I have, I guess.
I guess staying in the moment, being present in the moment is hard in all aspects of life that you mentioned on as well. Is it harder in footy, or is footy, do you feel like it's more instinctual, so it's fine to stay in the moment and outside's more difficult? Or
it's a constant work on for sure. I think in the game you can be, sort of people say you're in the zone, you just focus on footy on the next moment. You're not thinking about anything that's going on or that might happen. You're just in the moment playing, and that's when you're at your best. You're playing from your heart. You're not in your head overthinking about what could happen or what's just happened, or you're just in the moment playing. But then when you're at home as well, or your home, your family life, if you're on your phone or you're not in the moment or you're zoned out, then you're not present with your family and you're not enjoying that moment. So again, that's a constant work on for me at home, just being present with my family, enjoying that family time, because that's not going to be there forever. So I think that applies to not just your sport and your work, but also your home life as well.
Yep. Also, I completely agree. Is there a player that you could pick across the history of the game to play alongside with that you've never played with them? If you could just pick one.
I mean, it'd probably be Freddie. I was a big Roosters fan growing up. Freddie was a guy I'd sort of imitate in the back alley, his left foot step, and I think obviously I've been coached by him at Origin level, but playing side Freddie would be pretty cool. Freddie and Joey would be the ultimate.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Even for New South Wales, maybe one day, we'll see how that goes. I'm sure the party would be pretty good after.
Maybe,
yeah,
20 years.
Yeah, it would be good fun. I want to know if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice. I know you speak about being resilient and staying present in the moment, but what would you tell yourself? Maybe when you made that B team. Let's go back to that time.
I mean, if I go back to that, I always have the hardworking mentality, so I don't think I'd really dwell on that too much. It'd always be just keep working hard on your skills. But I think I guess the external part of it, when you, don't be worried about what other people say, or, just stay true to yourself. Don't get caught up in what other people might think of you or might be saying, because it doesn't really mean too much. It only means what you think about yourself and how you apply yourself with that strong mindset. So I think your mindset's so important. I think you can be physically gifted and athletic, but if your mind's not in the right spot, then you're not going to be able to be at your best. So
mind over matter. Get to it. I'll have to ask this question: do players actually pay attention to their fantasy score post game?
Some might. I get tagged in super coach things heaps, all the game day stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But again, it's just a byproduct of you playing well, I guess.
Okay. And as a fan, when your team loses, it can change your week. People get into bad mood, phone pops off with messages. You get into work on a Monday, you know what you're going to cop straight away. Yeah. What's it like as a player actually being part of the result?
If we lose?
If there's a loss.
It hurts. I mean, you're sort of doing it for the whole weekend or a couple of days, and you just want to sort of get into training and do the review straight away so you can just clear it, because you don't want to be doing on it for the whole week and going into the next game. You sort of just want to get in, talk about your lessons, talk about what we can improve on, and then sort of move on. So sometimes that's not for 2 to 3 days after a game. It could be annoying sort of doing that all weekend. But again, for me, trying to be more present at home, after the few days after a game is not trying to dwell on it too much, but it's hard because when you lose, your mind starts racing a bit and you're trying to find some answers. So you just want to get in and talk to the boys and just get back on track for next week.
Yeah, well, I think since coming to the Roosters, you've had more wins than losses, so surely a good thing there. We've got a few more questions. We saw a couple of weeks ago you tackled the Kokoda trial. Yeah. How was that experience? And was that your second time?
No, it was the first. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was an idea for Robbo, for us boys to sort of go over there together and complete the trek. It was tough. It was pretty challenging. We're up at 5 every day, so I walk in at 6 and don't finish till 4 or 5 in the Arvo. So I think learning about the history of Kokoda and the war that went on was really special along the way. Meeting all the PNG locals. We had porters that came with us that helped carry our backpacks, and they were just awesome. They just love their footy, and they're just so nice and caring people. And then, I guess just the mateship, us boys just doing it together, completing that. It's tough. It's challenging. There's hard days, hard times, but just bonding together, getting it done, and just going through something tough and completing it was sort of Robbo's message there, and I think we've all really bonded since completing that and coming back to training. So it was a really cool experience. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear. It looks pretty tough and challenging. The climate as well. Where do you sleep when you're there? Are there like certain points where you stay in tents, or
there's campsites? Along
so
the
you
way.
have to make it there each night.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's we sort of did it in quicker. We did it in 6 days, and usually I do it in 8 days. So we sort of, because we're a bit fitter, just sort of smash it out in bigger days, which was tough, but it was good to sort of just smash it out because we could. So the body was sore after. You're carrying your big backpack, and then but lucky. Our porters sort of set up our tents and cook food when we get there.
Oh, good. I was going to ask about the food. I worry about my stomach everywhere I go. It's got to be food around.
Lost some weight, you sort of run rice and noodles and pasta most of the time, but
it's not like the
job
steak and sauce you're used to.
Nah. No steaks.
That's all right. I want to know now, is there a question that you hate being asked? Whether it's from fans, from media, is there something that you hear and you're just like, oh, not this again?
Fans always ask me when I'm coming back to Tigers. I don't
really?
That's fair enough.
How do you answer
Tigers
that?
Fans. I say I'm at the Roosters, so that's it.
Yeah, good one there. Is there one thing about Game Day Squad that stood out to you?
I guess it's different to the others. It's versatile. And it has a lot of different add-ons to it that you don't sort of get from the other fantasy apps. So it was cool sort of filming some stuff last year with you. I think I took your head off one point. So sorry about that. But
it's all right.
No, that's a really cool crew.
Good fun.
Great to be on board and learn about Game Day Squad. And I think its versatility and its a variation it has compared to the other apps is what stands out.
Yep, very versatile platform. Great people. And hopefully I can take out a comp this year in Game Day Squad, and hopefully you take out the comp too. So
good luck.
We appreciate it. Thank you for answering the questions, and good luck this season.
No worries. Good luck to you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.